Business owners see it, and so does the Denver Police Department. Police tell us Lodo has seen a significant increase in violent crime this year.
The area has received a lot of attention lately after police gunfire injured 6 bystanders. And despite an increased police presence there, Denver's chief of police does not see improvement coming anytime soon.
Can't emphasize this enough. We're talking about dramatic increases in shootings and murders, not only in Lodo, but across the city.
According to police data, Denver police have responded to 176 assaults in Lodo so far this year. 50 of them involve guns. Overall, it's a 71% increase in assaults over the area's 3-year average. The department has also reported 6 murders so far this year in Lodo. The 3-year average for that area is 2, meaning it's a 200% increase. Today, Denver Chief of Police Paul Payson spoke about some of what he calls the contributing factors to the rise in crime.
Drug dealers, convicted drug dealers, and illegal guns is a bad mix. That's some of the contributing factors that we're seeing here in Denver, and some of the contributing factors that we're seeing in the state of Colorado.
And one of those guns the chief talked about there belonged to Jordan Waddy. He's the 21-year-old man police shot Sunday morning as bars let out on Larimer Square, a shooting that ended with 6 other bystanders getting injured. At 5, we'll hear more from the chief and a business owner who says she's never seen so much violence in Lodo.
Republican Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters is out on bond again after she turned herself in on a warrant issued yesterday. She spent about an hour in custody at the Pitkin County Sheriff's Office in Aspen before posting a $1,000 bond. Her arrest warrant, the second in 2 weeks, was issued because of an email she wrote. She is not allowed to contact anyone in the Mesa County Clerk's office. This is a condition of her bond and a mandatory protection order. That is tied to the felony charges she faces for tampering with voting equipment. But she did it anyway. She sent a mass email to county clerks statewide, including her county's election director, seeking a hand recount of the GOP Secretary of State primary. It's a race that she lost by more than 88,000 votes.
Republican Heidi Ganal officially introduced her running mate in the race for governor. He's Danny Moore, a retired Navy Master Chief. She introduced him at JJ's place in Aurora just afternoon today in their first appearance together. Moore's feelings about the 2020 presidential election cost him the chairmanship of the state's Independent Congressional Districting Committee. On social media on January 7th, 2021, Moore wrote that the election of 2020 will go down as the most questioned in our country's history. After our reporting on those postings, the committee voted to remove him. Ganal was quick to defend him shortly after announcing him as her choice, saying, quote, "Danny is not an election denier." We'll have more on Ganal's announcement tonight on Next with Kyle Clark.
It is hot, like real hot.
Yeah.
Just sitting over Colorado this week, all week long. I feel like, Lauren, it's a little bit of a broken record. And I'm not calling you a broken record. I'm just saying hot on hot on hot. More heat.
That's right. It's very hot. We do still have a heat advisory in effect, and that does include Denver and surrounding areas. So let's go ahead and take a look outside where we have a good mix of sun and clouds out there right now. 95 degrees. We were at 97 degrees in the last hour, so that cloud cover likely helping to cool us down just a bit. Light winds coming in from the south at 7 miles per hour. We do still have this heat advisory in effect through the rest of the afternoon until around 8 o'clock this evening, and this includes Denver up north through Fort Collins, northern portions of the Front Range and Eastern Plains, even out west across Grand Junction. Any of these areas in gold could see those afternoon highs rise up to around 102 degrees. But as we take a look at our current temperatures, we're mostly in the mid to upper 80s across the Front Range and Eastern Plains. Some areas making it into the triple digits, 105 in Lamar, 103 in Burlington, and then you can see the high country in the 70s and 80s, even hot out west, 101 right now in Grand Junction. Now we're going to continue to watch for those afternoon, very spotty, brief storms pushing through the area. None really expected to make their way into Denver. Most of these will stick to the high country, foothills, maybe even portions of the western slope down there to the south, but none of these expected to become severe or very widespread. They're going to be pretty isolated. Really all you'll watch for is lightning and some locally heavy downpours. But overnight everything clears on out. We'll see some mild temperatures for our lows, upper 60s to low 70s. Another hot day in store for tomorrow. Increasing clouds, highs near 98 degrees, but we will see a cool down ahead in my 7-day forecast. So I'll have those details for you just ahead.
A new lawsuit claims a priest sexually abused a teen, and the Episcopal Diocese of Colorado covered it up. It's believed to be the first lawsuit of its kind, since a new law removed the statute of limitations for survivors. A warning, this story covers the difficult topic of sexual abuse. Courtney Yoon heard from their lawyer today.
Expect once we start digging into the facts of the case, we will be identifying additional victims. Yes, absolutely.
After about 27 years, a child sex abuse survivor is coming forward, filing a lawsuit against the Episcopal Diocese of Colorado, St. Michael and All Angels Church, and St. Barnabas Church camps.
The plaintiff here alleges that there were several types of sexual misconduct with Reverend McKenzie, over the close fondling, stimulation, sexual gratification.
The plaintiff is being identified as John H.A. Doe, who is now in his 40s and working in the Denver area in private social services. His attorney, Jessica Arbor, says her client was first sexually abused by Reverend Jerry McKenzie in 1995 when the plaintiff was 16 years old.
What we do know is that during the period when this abuse started and continued, that there was an ongoing practice to ignore these types of allegations, to cover them up, to threaten and silence victims, to withhold information from the people who had the ability to protect these children, and to basically protect themselves and close ranks.
She says Reverend McKenzie had mass and conducted services at St. Michael and All Angels Church in Denver, where the plaintiff was his altar boy. At this time, they're not sure where McKenzie is or if he's alive.
He would provide the plaintiff and his friends with alcohol and drugs, marijuana, rolling papers, that type of thing, and encourage them to become intoxicated and making them more vulnerable to abuse that way as well.
The lawsuit states that this abuse lasted for several years and took place at this church, Camp Ilium, in a cabin near Netherland.
This is about protecting kids, and it's not just about accountability for him, it's about accountability for everyone else who was hurt and should not have been, and about protecting kids and forcing the diocese and these defendants to do better in the future.
Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
The diocese says Reverend McKenzie was forced to resign in 2000 following allegations of sexual misconduct, but the diocese would not detail the number of claims or when they happened. They released a statement that reads, in part, our thoughts and prayers go out to all of those individuals who have been affected by the harm caused by the clergy or any clergy member who has betrayed the trust of the religious community.
President Biden's COVID symptoms have improved, his doctor said today. The White House said he had a slight temperature, they're managing it with medicine, and he still has other mild symptoms.
The symptoms were basically the same. Again, he's got a little runny nose, he's got a bit of a dry cough. He was feeling, he worked all day yesterday, he was on phone calls, he was on Zoom calls, worked through the evening, and as of 10 p.m., as I said, when I talked to the folks, his medical team who had last seen him right around 10 p.m. or last talked to him right around 10 p.m., he said he was feeling just fine.
President Biden is fully vaccinated and double boosted. He's on his second day now of Paxlovid, that's Pfizer's antiviral drug, because his age puts him at a high risk for severe illness. President Biden is 79 years old.
A federal jury has found Steve Bannon guilty of contempt of Congress. The charges stem from his refusal to testify before the January 6th committee. After nearly 2 days of hearing evidence and witness testimony, the jury reached a unanimous verdict in less than 3 hours. Bannon is set to be sentenced on October 21st. According to federal law, he faces a minimum sentence of 30 days in jail.
It is wildflower season in Colorado, and we take a trip to Crested Butte, the best place to see and study them.
And for months, we've been telling you about flights being delayed or canceled, but even when your flight is on time, losing your baggage can still ruin your trip.